Welcome to the VAYO Pro DFM Expert tutorial. Using this tutorial, you can practice DFM Expert software and accomplish DFM DFA analysis. DFM Expert is an intelligent DFX analysis software tool developed by VAYO company. It could automatically detect design omissions and blocks for prototyping assembly, and also intelligently predicts mass production risks and product reliability risks. Let's start the training for this software product. I shall guide you step by step. This training contains 3 parts. First, what kind of data do we need for DFM DFA analysis? Second, the detailed operation of DFM Expert software, which will guide you to accomplish the entire analysis workflow for the job. And third, the appendix, which covers optional steps like Gerber data source import, how to configure a boom parser, and checking rules. Creating a new part package in DFM library shall be explained in a separate training video. For DFM DFA analysis, we need PCB data and a bill of materials data source. DFM Expert supports 2 kinds of PCB data sources. One is PCB CAD such as Altium, Cadence, Mentor, Zukin, IPC 2581, ODP++, and so on. Another PCB data source is Gerber files plus Centroid XY data. Gerber files could be RS274D or RS274X format. As for bill of material, component supplier and manufacturer PN information can ensure more accuracy of DFM DFA analysis results. DFM Expert operational workflow is divided into 3 sections. A. Data source load and verification. B. Virtual PCB assembly. And C. DFM analysis and report generation. For a detailed explanation of each button, you can refer to operational manual in installation directory. .help. Now let's load data source and verify them. You can see that the DFM Expert is a very simple software with step-by-step workflow, which allows you to accomplish the DFM DFA analysis easily. We shall use CAD data source for initial training. As for Gerber Plus, Centroid XY data import, we shall explain this later in the training. DFM Expert could intelligently identify CAD data type when you load CAD data source. For boom data source, we provide 2 kinds of import methods. The first method is a parser. It allows you to load original boom content directly to the predefined parser. Another method is simple copy and paste. If you are a first-time user to the DFM DFA software, I suggest you manipulate in Microsoft Excel and then copy to the DFM Expert. As to configuring a parser, we explain this later in the training. After having imported the boom, DFM Expert will perform 2 levels of validation to the data source. Internal check of boom, try to check whether there are mistakes like quantity not matching, duplicated part numbers, and duplicated reference designators, and so on. Cross-validation between boom and CAD. Try to make sure boom parts have corresponding locations on the PCB. Here we find an error of quantity mismatch for the internal content check of boom. It shows the quantity is 2, but there are actually 3 parts. For cross-validation of boom and CAD, please pay extreme attention to the parts in boom, not in the CAD, since it means there are no such locations on the assembly PCB part. If there are not paper labels, heat sink, or screws, you should contact customer or the R&D department to correct the error before moving to the next step. Okay, we've loaded PCB and boom data source successfully. Now let's virtualize PCB assembly for this product. In this step, we shall pick component packages from the VAYO library. Just click button 1, 2, and 3, which will accomplish this step. 1 is to match component manufacturer supplier. 2 is to obtain component packages from the library according to manufacturing part number. Click the first column to figure out parts without package assigned. For them, you can search and assign the package manually from the right side. Or you can create a new package in the library management application. You can refer to another video for it. 3 is to figure out alternative parts with large size differences to the main parts. If the length, width, and pin size difference is more than 20%, it shall be reported here. This alternative part is totally unacceptable. We will capture a picture and save it to the final report. In this step, we shall perform the virtual assembly and make sure each component is assembled with correct rotation and position. In just one click, DFM Expert will automatically correct the part's mount, rotation, and position. Here, DFM Expert also captures 2 obvious package mismatch problems. Let's save them to the final report. Using this function, we can find out major assembly mismatches and meet prototyping DFM DFA analysis needs. Now we've successfully virtualized the assembled PCB. We can see a 360-degree view without a blind spot. You can access every detail of the product even when you don't have an actual board built. We can check the risk of component impact on each other in horizon and vertical level, check the risk of rework difficulty, and check the risk of open or short for bare PCB board. We can also check the risk of hand load for through-hole components. We've virtualized PCB assembly for this product. Next, we'll perform DFM DFA analysis and generate the report. Before running the analysis, we should make proper configurations. Our checking rules are based on component type. We need to make sure each part has a type attribute assigned. Just click the 2 buttons to get type and subtype assigned. If any part can't be assigned a type attribute, please assign it manually. If you want to change flow direction for reflow and wave soldering, you can configure it here. PCB thickness is required since there are checking rules related to PCB thickness. Now we will perform DFM DFA analysis. We need to select one rule group for analysis. DFM Expert supports multiple groups. You could create group for different clients, product families, or projects. We shall teach you how to configure them late in this training. DFM Expert provides nearly 1,500 checking rules covering PCB fabrication and assembly. You could run all these checks or select some categories for analysis. DFM DFA analysis cycle time depends on board complexity, checking rules. DFM DFA analysis cycle time depends on board complexity and checking rules you select. Now, let's review the results and select risks for report generation. For every risk found, DFM Expert categorizes to different security levels with different colors. We don't use dual monitors for this training. However, if you have dual monitors for configuration, you should have an amazing time using the VAYO software. If you confirm it is important risk, we should take action. You could capture a picture from the 2D PCB or 3D PCBA view, then save the final report. If required, you could put a comment to it. After viewing all risks, we could generate the report. Select the template DFM template.en.fr3 for report preview and generation. Great! We've accomplished DFM DFA analysis with CAD data source successfully. At the end, I'd like to explain several optional steps: import Gerber and centroid XY data, create boom parser, and configuring DFM rules. Now let me show you how to import Gerber plus centroid XY data source. Firstly, we will switch to the process flow with centroid XY plus Gerber import option. Import the CAD data where we select centroid XY data source. Click Read button. DFM expert will intelligently identify each column. Next, we will import Gerber data. DFM expert can intelligently identify Gerber type. We import drill data as well. One click to define the attribute for each layer. Select the signal layer as work layer. Change pad feature mode and select all objects. Copy to pad layer. For detailed explanation, please refer to the operational manual. Great! We've accomplished the import of Gerber plus centroid XY data source. The remaining steps are the same as the steps for CAD data sourcing are processing. Great! We've accomplished the import of Gerber plus centroid XY data source. The remaining steps are the same as the steps for a CAD data source are processing. DFM Expert allows you to automatically import boom with fixed formulas. Here we will guide you to create a boom parser. Let's load boom file to get started. We support both text and Microsoft Excel format. Assign a name for a new parser. Double-click the line with electronics parts data. Move cursor to the edit area and right-click. Choose Auto Separator and confirm the character which separates the content. Utilize field import and identify the column of part number, reference designator, description, quantity, component manufacturer, and manufacturer PM. For reference designator, please make sure you select the right separator and link character. I suggest to select field type, number plus for quantity column to eliminate the title line. Add line input rule. Click Check to see whether this rule applies for all electronical part lines. For non-electrical part lines like label, PCB, screw, and etc., you could add line ignore rule for them, then move them to the top. Now we have successfully created a parser. DFM Expert comes with flexible and powerful rule edit function. You can access Rule Manager from the toolbar or installation directory. The initial username and password are admin. Default rule group contains thousands of assembly and fabrication check rules. They are divided into dozens of classes. You could create multiple rule groups for different product families, clients, and projects. In each rule group, you could categorize checking rules to different classes. You could create a new rule by copying existing rule and changing the parameters. For each rule, you can modify description, impact, and corrective action, and sample image. You could also select the objects to be checked, such as component type, subtype, package type, and user-defined type. Here you can also change the recommended value, violation security level, and violation range. We also support user-defined parameter to meet your special requirements. You have successfully completed the DFM tutorial. If any questions or subjects that have not been covered in this tutorial, please refer to the operational manual or contact the VAYO offices. VAYO DFM Expert is an amazing tool that will ensure quality and reliability for your products, as well as act as a reliable tool for your team to operate. Thank you for choosing VAYO, and we hope to see you in the next video.